Well, I hope you all enjoyed that little montage there that I put together with all the critters in it. That being a farm girl, I've been in contact with just about every critter in there, and most of them I've owned at one time or another. So I do hope you enjoyed that. I've been real busy this week, so that's why there hasn't been any shows put on. It's been a hot one. Lord have mercy, hotter than a hooker's bed springs out here today. Did the farmer's market this morning and thought I was going to melt into my shoes. Been working on the house and working on the yard and staying busy, that's for sure. I haven't caught a whole lot of the shows that's gone on this week. I've caught a few. So I've got some catching up to do. Maybe in the next week I can get some of that done. But I wanted to get back on YouTube before I forgot how to do everything that I done learned last week on all this. And I wanted to maybe share a little bit of experience with some of you, that a little story that most of you probably have not heard from me. Most of you don't know me real well that have subscribed and watched my channel. So I'm hoping that maybe I can add a little bit of levity to the situation that we've all been facing with the nation, and maybe you all learn a little bit in the process. I remember when I was a little girl going to kindergarten, we used to have a story time where all the kids would gather around and the teacher would sit us all down and tell us a story. And I thought that might be even fun as adults, to hear a little story, maybe something that you haven't heard before. And I bet you've never heard this one before. I was born a long time ago. Back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, trotted the sod. And back in that day, when my mother went into labor with me, my dad got her to the hospital, and every time she'd be ready to give birth, the doctor was not there, so the nurses would run at her and give her a shot to stop the labor. She labored off and on for 40 hours. And finally, they ran at her with another shot, and she says, "Oh, no, you don't." She says, "I'm having this baby. I don't care whether the doctor's here or not." Well, luckily, the doctor got there before she gave birth, and I was born. And my dad was a farmer. He was a dairy farmer, and he'd gone home to milk the cows. And it was late in the afternoon when I was born. So it was late that evening before Dad got all the cows milked and got cleaned up and got back to the hospital to see what was going on. So he walks into the hospital and he tells me, and he told the nurses at the nurses station that he was there to see the Gibson baby. And they said, "Okay, well, we'll bring it out to you. We'll let you see her." And so the nurses disappeared, and they was gone and gone and gone and gone for the longest time. Finally, one of them poked her head out, and she says, "Mr. Gibson, what color is your wife?" And Dad said, he just looked at her and says, "What do you mean, what color is my wife? My wife's white." And the nurse disappears before he could say anything else to her, and she was gone for a long time again. Finally, one of the nurses come out and told him, she says, "Well, we can't bring the baby out to see you right now. The baby has some problems, and we're working with it." And he said, "Well, what do you mean? You asking me what color my wife is, and now you tell me you're working on the baby? What's going on?" Well, back in that day, they had segregated rooms for the babies. They kept the black babies and the white babies separated. And when I was born, I had the cord wrapped around my neck 3 times. And since Mom had labored so long, I'd filled up with mucus. And by the time Dad got to the hospital, I'd turned black. And they had put me in with the black babies. Didn't even realize there was anything wrong with me. So they got to work on me and got the mucus all pumped out and got me straightened up. And I guess I lost my black coloring and turned white again. At least I'm white today. I'm whiter than a frog's belly. I've been fighting all my life. You know, I was fighting as a newborn baby for my life, and everything that I've faced throughout my life has been a fight. There's always been some battle that I've had to face, and I imagine a lot of you have had to go through the same thing. And there's a lot of times where you feel like giving up. You feel like that it's useless to keep trying. But I got news for you. There are 3 things that you need in this life in order to survive, no matter what circumstances that you're facing. The first one is determination. You have got to be determined that you're going to make it. Regardless of what life throws at you, you have to have determination. Be bullheaded and strong about it. The next thing you need is enthusiasm. You have to have passion. You have to have enthusiasm. You have to be excited for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Because if you go at it half-hearted, you aren't going to get anywhere in life. And the third thing you need, you don't have to have it, but it is sure beneficial, is a little bit of skill. So if you can learn a little bit about whatever it is that you need to know, whether it's survival tactics, whether it's prepping, whether it's financial needs, whatever it is, if you can learn a little bit of skill, it's going to push you a long, 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 long way. So I hope this has been a little bit entertaining, and I hope it's had a good moral for you, and I hope that it stimulates you to know that you can make it regardless of what life throws at you. And I certainly hope that you'll tune in for more stories, because I've got lots and lots of stories that I can tell. I see that we've got one viewer out there, and I'll say hello to Jimmy this evening. I hope he's having a nice evening. And I have remembered everything that I've learned so far about this YouTube thing, so I feel like I'm accomplished in that area. So far, I've not made any blunders this evening, I don't believe. And with that, I'll hope that everybody will tune in on Monday at noon Eastern Time to YouTube to the Level-Headed News with Pat and Brenda. Pat Armstrong and I are going to be doing a show, and it's going to be Monday through Friday at noon. And we're going to bring some news, and we've got a lot of topics to talk about. I think you'll be interested in some of the things that we bring up. So with that, I will close out for this evening, and hope to see y'all in the chat room on our Level-Headed News channel on Monday. Good night.